When you stop making progress, sometimes the answer is either more or different. When you think about exercises that you do when you train, think about them like a cup with a leak on the bottom. In order to keep that cup full at a certain level, you have to keep pouring liquid into the cup to maintain that certain level. And that's essentially what you're doing when you train, at least at the bare minimum. You are pouring in all of these training sessions so that you can at least maintain your progress, whether it's strength or muscle gain, or you're trying to increase your strength or hypertrophy. And at a certain point, if you pour fast enough, you will get to the point to where it starts to get close to the brim of that cup. And in this case, we're talking about accumulated training stress, which does come with progress, but at a certain point, that cup will start to spill over if the rate is too fast. If you're not at that point to where it's close to the top, you might need more of the same thing. And if you're already training close to failure, that's another conversation. But sometimes that means extra reps, extra sets. You need to increase the overall training load through some metric. And you are able to do that up until a certain point when it starts to spill over. Now, this is where you might need different, which will effectively mean less, but for a different reason than just cutting back on sets or cutting back on repetitions. So let's say in this example, you get another cup that also has a leak at the bottom. That means that once you get to the point to where the liquid reaches the top of that first cup and it starts spilling over, you're like, oh crap, I need to do something different. And then you allocate your training resources to two different cups, in this case, two different exercises, two different muscle groups. Even if you're training the same muscle group, attacking it from a different angle through means of a different exercise is different enough to where you can now continue to allocate training resources to two different cups. So you might continue to fill up that first cup, but you don't have to do it quite as often because now you're splitting up your efforts in two different places. And now you can restart the process with two cups. Most of the time, you don't have to do infinite amount of cups. You just need maybe 2 or 3. And that's what most people can manage. So when you're thinking about training this upcoming week, think about reasons that you may not be making progress. Sometimes you don't have to beat your head against the wall and just constantly do more of the same thing. You might need some more novelty, a way to attack your muscle groups or to attack your movement patterns in a slightly different way. And that might get things unstuck. Hope that helps.